I've waited too long. Too many days. Too many weeks. So let's just screw it and do a huge discussion on the Nin-Cast.
Hello everyone, this is Nintendo Act 8, and I didn't feel like recording a bunch of separate videos, so why don't we just combine everything and make it nice and convenient. And I don't know how long this is going to be, but I have a few transitions, so I'll have to make sure those go out well. But basically, there's a lot of topics I've wanted to discuss for a week or so, on top of some new things, so why don't we just do a huge mega thing and do it that way. Simple. And for this round, since I don't have enough footage and I don't feel like using footage, I'm just gonna have this Nin-Cast Mega Edition thing in the background, at least for right now, and then I'm gonna have the logos for each of the respective things, but you will see when that comes. So yeah, why don't we get on to our first topic, shall we? So yeah, the SEGA leaks. I want to talk about this for a while. Like, it's not gonna be super long, because honestly, I'm not that big of a Sonic fan. I really have that much to say on the matter. But basically, I think it points towards, like, there's some like secret music or whatever that someone leaked on Twitter or something like that, where they post things to their official Facebook page, which I think also include the recently released, after it was leaked, they basically just released it anyway, of like classic Sonic, regular Sonic, and then Sonic Boom Sonic, like standing in the same area. So of course everyone's like, oh, it's gonna be Generations 2, or of course everyone in their fan dream is of course like Sonic Adventure 3, please, even though I don't think that's gonna happen. Not that I don't think it shouldn't happen, I'm being realistic. I don't think it's gonna happen, even though it would be cool. But I'm not really a big Sonic fan. But what this does mean is that there's gonna be a huge game this year, and I don't remember a whole lot when the leaks came out, but I know this is going to mean something big, because apparently they made music for like Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations or something like that, I think. But yeah, this is just a quick part. Now let's get to some of the major topics. Up next is a topic that I've been wanting to discuss for a week, and it's really important to me. So yeah, the leaked trailer, a very interesting one, because it looks official, but is it real? I doubt it, because they haven't released it on the thing yet, and there hasn't been a Nintendo Direct yet. By the way, that previous video I made where I said it was gonna be this week, well, that obviously didn't happen. So that's what I thought, man. But there's going to be one this month. I still stay firm on that, and everything else I said in that video is true, especially those leaks. I'm sure if you saw the leaks that I talked about, you'll see how like fake they were. But the fact that they exist, at this point there's going to be one. That's always been the case. But anyways, this trailer is very interesting for a number of reasons. Mainly because it looks official, and they're trying to play towards that like nostalgia of it being like 30 years of Zelda and stuff like that. What's interesting is they don't have a title. They just put the Zelda logo and they say the only on Wii U thing at the very end, which is interesting. I don't remember a lot about the trailer, except that it was kind of cringeworthy, but it looks official, but is it real? I don't know. Obviously, we've seen from Artsy Omni and other people, you can fake pretty much anything, no matter how official it looks. But the trailer is it's not like a gameplay trailer, it's just like a little promotional thing that someone found, supposedly. It looks like it could be official. If it's been disproven at this point, then if someone could tell me in the comments or something like that, that'd be cool, because to my knowledge, this has not been disproven. Because I mean, as far as I know. But if it was, then sorry that I just wasted like a few minutes of your time talking about it. But anyway, another thing about this Zelda Wii U trailer, it's kind of interesting, is that, well, once again, they play toward apparently at some point in the trailer they mentioned how it's open world, like Because you know how Aonuma in that original E3 2014 thing, he was like, the new Zelda game for Wii U will be this open world. And people came up with the nickname the Zelda Scrolls, the Elder Scrolls Zelda Edition or something like that. The Elder Scrolls 6 Hyrule exclusive to Wii U and NX. I don't know, something like that. If it's open world, it's a good thing. It just means that the game lasts longer and there's a lot more to explore. Especially when it's like, you can actually go to those mountains in the background if you go far enough. And stuff like that. That wasn't really a part of the trailer, but it's just, I think I remember seeing that in like an article that involved the trailer or something like that. But that's one other thing, is that because the trailer is kind of playing towards the nostalgia of the original game back in, 1986 or whatever, or 87 if you're in the US, or like 89 if you're in Europe, I don't know. I don't remember all the release dates, but this is the 30th anniversary technically, so we're just going to call it that. Or is that the 30th one? Or is it the 25th one? No, it's the 30th, right? I can't even remember. That's a fail on me. That's a big fail on me. No, it's the 30th. It's the 30th. It's definitely the 30th. So yeah, it's definitely the 30th. But one thing is that because it's the 30th and it's to celebrate the original game, that's why a lot of people they've been like emphasizing that open world. It's gonna be free. Because in the original game, I've played every single game in the series except for the first one, which is kind of strange. But oh well, just haven't gotten around to it. If they remember that maybe they should have made that remake on the Game Boy Color. Maybe then I would have played it. I don't know. That's if you watch Me Too and Me You or whatever that guy's called. Like that does like the concept of console. You know what I'm talking about. But anyways, yeah. So like, because in the original game you could beat the game in pretty much any order you want. There was like 7 dungeons. You could complete any of the dungeons in whatever order you wanted or whatever, which is actually a pretty cool idea. So if they could do that again, because a lot of people complain about how linear Zelda is sometimes, so it's like the same path every single time. If they go back to the original game, they can make it more open world. You can basically complete it any order you want, unless it has like a required item like the fire arrows or something like that, or the hook shot. But for the most part, you can complete it any order you want. Could they do that again? Absolutely. We don't know. We haven't even gotten a playable demo yet, except for that Game Awards 2014 footage that we got over a year ago. But instead now we haven't got really any real gameplay footage. We haven't gotten like a playable demo E3 or anything like that yet, so we can't really conclude that for sure. But I'm sure in the next Nintendo Direct they're gonna have some more footage, and who knows, maybe even a name. Maybe they'll save the name for E3 when they reveal it's gonna be on the NX as well as the Wii U, for all we know. But yeah, will it be open world? Well, it's going to be open world, kind of. Like Aonuma's description of open world is different than like Skyrim open world and stuff like that. I think it's like a Japanese versus American view of open world or something like that, but I'm not really quite sure. But yeah, the lead Zelda trailer, it definitely looks interesting. I mean, it's not really a gameplay, it's just kind of a new generation. So people have been saying, is this like a new generation of Link? And of course, I still think that it's probably going to, and it should. Linkle is going to be in that game. If Linkle is not like the female selectable option, then clearly they are not thinking straight, because people like Linkle, even though Hyrule Warriors Legends isn't even out yet. And people have been speculating that she's going to be like the female playable option in Zelda Wii U, because, we gotta have equality and all that stuff, and that would be probably a good way to do it. Kind of like how in Splatoon there's the boy and girl Inkling options, but everyone plays as the girl one because it's far better. Gotta love that equality, I guess. But, even I use the girl Inkling one, like everyone does. If you go into a match, about 99% of them will be the girl Inkling. I'm not even kidding. It's the only one you see in the plaza. I don't know. I guess it's a good thing. But, well, draw with that what you will. I'm not trying to favor either one of them here. But, okay, well, let's not turn this into a C-SPAN type discussion. Let's go back to Zelda. Yeah, so I guess that's what I'll have to say about the Zelda trailer. I really want to talk about it, but it wasn't really as long as it would normally be for like a Nin-Cast type episode, so I decided to squeeze it in here. And then I got 2 more big topics that I know for a fact will last longer, especially a latter one that I'll get talking to in a bit. But final thing about the Zelda trailer, is it real? It looks real, but is it fake? Maybe it's already been proven fake. If it has, please tell me in the comments down below. But if you don't know, then, well, we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe when we got a Nintendo Direct, they're going to show that trailer. They're going to show that trailer at E3 or something like that. We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, so let's move on to our next topic. Even though I think the Wii U is a great system, there's no denying that there's not that much left in for it. In fact, all we have really is this: Pokken Tournament, Zelda Wii U, and maybe, if we're lucky, Paper Mario. And also that Fire Emblem Shin Megami Tensei crossover game that's going to be coming out on the West this year. What else is left? Well, I'm probably forgetting something. Oh, it's right, Minecraft Story Mode's going to finally come to the Wii U. Maybe. I don't know what happened to that. I'm going to have to figure that out. But aside from mainly Pokken Tournament, Zelda Wii U, and Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem, there's not that much left I can think of. I'm probably forgetting some big game that people are going to complain, oh, you forgot this game! Well, those are the only ones I could think of off the top of my head. If there's anything else, then yeah. Sorry, I forgot that. But those are the main big games that are going to come out this year. With Paper Mario being a possibility, as it's been in development for a few years, I'm betting at this point. Especially after that leak last year that, to my knowledge, was never disproven, so I'm basically going to call that true. My only real reason for them not releasing it yet, or even mentioning it, is because of that thing I really don't want to happen, but it's probably going to happen anyway, that they're probably going to delay the thing for the NX, or something like that. But the current lineup, so what do we have? Well, first is Pokken Tournament. I'm not that excited, but I know a lot of people are, and I'm going to get the game, but it's definitely not going to be something I'm going to pre-order or anything like that. But it does look interesting. As long as it has online play, I will get it. If it doesn't have online, I might not get it. Actually, I might still get it, and I can play it at like school and stuff. Like if we can't do Smash, which by the way, we actually got to hook up Smash Bros to like the smart board and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. Of course, people were mad because I mean we kind of turned Anime Club into Smash Bros Club for 30 minutes, but we need to make our own club. Maybe I should talk about that at some point. Anyways, back to Pokken. Maybe we could like play Pokken on the smart board. I'm sure they would play that. It's a fighting game. Is it funner than Smash Bros? I doubt it. But you know, I haven't played Pokken in the arcades because obviously it didn't. Did it come to the arcades here? Yes, it did in a few places. Points I haven't played Pokken, so I can't really make a fair judgment. But it looks like a cool and interesting game, and I'll probably get it at some point. Zelda Wii U, I just kind of made a whole discussion already talking about that trailer. But as far as Zelda Wii U itself, it's coming to the Wii U. There's no denying it's going to be on the Wii U, whether it's an NX. It's going to be on the NX and the Wii U. That's where I have to find that out. But at the end of the day, it's going to be on the Wii U. Well, I think of the game. Well, we haven't seen practically anything, so I can't really discuss it. All we've seen was that E3 trailer and the small snippets of gameplay we got at what? Game? This isn't the UK. We don't live in the UK. At least I don't live in the UK. Sorry if someone got mad about that. Anyways, so aside from that footage we saw at the Game Awards and that small 6-second clip we saw at that last Nintendo Direct, we haven't really seen anything about the game, so I can't really say anything about the story or the gameplay or really anything. Just that we just want to see more. I want to see more. You want to see more. And I still think, like I said in the previous discussion, Linkle should be the female character option. There's no reason why she shouldn't when she's getting as popular as she is. To the extent of Inklings is debatable, probably not even close to Inklings, but people like her and she needs to be in the game. That's my point. Aside from that, we don't really know anything about the game, except for that trailer that I talked about. There's not really anything we can talk about. Just it's without question is the big. Oh, okay, I just remembered another game, but I'll talk about that in a second. But you know, Zelda Wii U is definitely the big heavy hitter of this year to go alongside the NX, because they're probably going to release Zelda Wii U and the NX on the same day. I'm predicting it. November 21st, 2016 is a release date for both the. Okay, I'm saying that when I've said I want the NX to come out in 2017, but if it does come out this year, it's going to be November 21st. Same for Zelda Wii U. It looks great, but we don't even have a title yet, so it's very much, we don't know that much about it, so I can't really make a big call on it. And I remember the other big game of this year that I forgot to list, and I probably feel like an idiot for not listing it. Star Fox Zero. I forgot to list it because I thought it came out last year, then I remembered it didn't. Star Fox Zero has had some rumors that it might get delayed again, which if it does, I don't know. If it does, then whatever. If it doesn't, whatever. I'm not really a big Star Fox fan. And it's probably Nintendo's fault because they've taken so long to make a new game that it's not a franchise I really grew up with. So that probably doesn't help me not really caring that much. All I know from Star Fox is basically everything from Smash Bros. And like looking on videos. But I've never played a single Star Fox game before. Ever, and I probably won't. My first game will probably be Star Fox Zero if I decide to get it. The game looks really interesting. The graphics look way improved than they were at E3 from the newest direct footage we got. Looks interesting. Will I get it day one? No, but it's like the Splatoon of this year. It's kind of gonna be like it's gonna release on April 22nd, assuming it doesn't get delayed. It's gonna be like the summer-ish title for the year. Hopefully it'll have multiplayer. I'll definitely get it if it has multiplayer. And of course I mean online multiplayer. Remember how a few years ago GameXplain was joking, oh, like Nintendo does updates or DLC. They don't do patches, it's Nintendo. And fast forward to 2016, and every single game they release gets DLC and updates and paid content and all that kind of stuff. I remember a GameXplain's very first Smash Bros. Discussion when it was announced at E3 2013. They were discussing how they could add DLC, and then they're like, oh, wait, this is Nintendo. They don't like change. They just stick in the past, and they're like they would do DLC and updates and stuff. And what'd they do? Release a ton of DLC and updates. Oh, man, how times have changed for Nintendo. Hopefully this year will bring some new changes with the NX and whatnot, but Star Fox Zero looks interesting. Will I get it day one? No, but I might get it. I haven't even got... There's a few games on the Wii U, though, I'd still like to get. But Star Fox Zero would probably be pretty high on the list. Although, definitely the biggest game, probably the only one I'm going to pre-order this year, will be Zelda Wii U. What else could come to this year? Well, Paper Mario Wii U is the other one. Shin Megami Tensei Crossfire Emblem, which it's like... The game's already out in Japan. It's just going to be localized this year, so I'm not going to really talk about that too much. But, so, let's just move on to Paper Mario. Paper Mario is a game that it's one of the first games I've probably ever played on a console. When I got my GameCube, I got 3 games. Cars, yeah, I'm serious, Cars. Like, you know, the Disney movie, Cars. That one. I got Cars, and the original Animal Crossing on GameCube, and Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door. And of course, I think that was, I don't know what the first one I played was, but the case is, I got Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, and of course, it is my favorite, not only because it's the first one, but it's also the best one, for numerous reasons. One big reason is the world and how smooth the game is. I know I've seen people debate frame rate all the time, but I think Paper Mario does definitely improve from the frame rate, even though it's not FPS or anything like that. I mean, it runs at 60 FPS, and it feels so good to control at 60 FPS. Plus the story, the characters, everything about it's just great. I can't really explain it that well, but if you've played the game, you know how good it is. And I liked Super Paper Mario, and to an extent Sticker Star, and people are going to probably dislike the video for me even mentioning Sticker Star, especially if you're a GameXplain fan, as we all know. A certain someone at GameXplain wishes Sticker Star would be thrown off a cliff and die, but, you know, we'll just have to see. Sticker Star wasn't that bad, it was just way too short and too linear. Hopefully, the Paper Mario Wii U will go back to the Thousand Year Door in original versions of the gameplay with partners and stuff like that. Funny enough, Paper Mario Sticker Star was supposed to be like a Thousand Year Door 2 type game. There was going to be partners and all that same stuff. And then they completely changed it, supposedly because Miyamoto thought the game wasn't too easy or something controversial like that. Because if Miyamoto's the one that ruined Sticker Star, then it goes right alongside him changing Dinosaur Planet to Star Fox Adventures in the why did he do this to us category. But, yeah. Paper Mario Wii U has been speculated for years, and will it happen? At this point, it could. They could just be saving it until like the last possible second, like an E3 summer reveal. I'll be like, oh, it's coming on the Wii U like June or July or something like that in every region or something like that. Will it happen? I doubt it, because I think they would want to promote it by now, but if it doesn't come to the Wii U, which at this point it probably won't, it'll definitely be an early NX game, because they have to have been working on a new Paper Mario game for some time. Yes, they've worked on Fire Emblem and Codename Steam and that Shin Megami Tensei game with Atlas, but Paper Mario has to have been in the works since the Wii U's launch. They've always had a Paper Mario game for every system so far. And they're going to do it again. They're just waiting, is my guess. And yeah, that's pretty much all I can think about for the current 2016 Wii U lineup. Of course, there's going to be indie games, small games, but in terms of the big Nintendo games, that's really it. Those, I think, 5 or 6 I mentioned are basically it. What does the future hold for the Wii U? I thought we were going to be fine, but after seeing that E3 press conference, it went from being all about Wii U the year before to being basically all about 3DS. But, you know, we'll have to see how that goes. At least the 3DS is doing pretty well, aside from maybe Federation Force. I'm one of those people who actually don't hate Federation Force just because, oh, it's Federation Force, it's Metroid Sucker or whatever. They haven't shown it since E3, so they're obviously retooling it, and it's going to be way better. Maybe they're changing it into a real Metroid game for all we know. But we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, that's all I have to say for the 2016 Wii U lineup. It's looking pretty good with Star Fox and Zelda, but that's not coming until later in the year. For the first half of the year, all it really is Pokken, which is going to be interesting, but it's just a port of the arcade game. It's not like a new game that's completely unavailable right now. But yeah, that's all I have to say for that. And now we have one last thing to talk about, something that's probably going to take over 10 minutes, because I have a lot I'm going to talk about. Yes, I'm finally discussing it. Let's waste no time in getting to the topic. Yes, I'm finally going to talk about this Yokai Watch Localization. We got the first game, but it's not the game I wanted. After I've played and seen that movie and all that stuff, I have obviously determined, and I'm sure it's kind of like, duh, obvious, but Yokai Watch 2 is better than the first game. Granted, I haven't played the first game yet. I still haven't got it, and I didn't announce this. I was going to, but I was wondering if it would be worth my time. I ordered a Japanese 3DS XL, and then the order got canceled this morning because they were, quote-unquote, out of stock. So, yeah, I gotta stick with homebrew for a while. I'm gonna get a 3DS XL that's Japanese at some point, but I'm gonna have to deal with homebrew for now. But anyways, so obviously Yokai Watch 2 will be localized this year. I'm thinking it will, if it doesn't get localized this year, it will be announced. It's going to be announced in one of two places. Either at Level 5's like special event they hold like every... Don't they hold one like every April or something like that? And no, it's not just a Japanese press conference, because last one they had was basically all Yokai Watch. It was like Snack World, a few Layton 7, Fantasy Life 2, then Yokai Watch, Yokai Watch, Yokai Watch, Yokai Watch. And I'm talking not just about Yokai Watch 3, which I also want localized, but the fact that they talked about the international launch and whatnot. However, now, even though I know Yokai Watch 2 will be localized here, as we all know from that video I made that's actually fairly popular and one of my higher views, so over 300 views, is when I talked about how they basically confirmed it will be localized. I mean, obviously it will. The question is when and what versions on what format. Because even, I'm going to probably say the name wrong, Akira Hino? I'm probably said the name wrong, but you know what I'm talking about. The CEO of Level 5 or whatever, the creator of Yokai Watch or whatever. He said that they're talking with Nintendo on localizing, which sounds bad off the bat, because it's like, no, Nintendo America's gonna localize the second game! I don't know about you, but I'd rather Level 5 just localize it. Don't they have their own division now? They have Level 5 Abbey and Level 5 IA in the US, in like Sunnydale, California, or whatever the heck their headquarters is in. You know, pretty close to where I live, so there's no reason for them not. Well, not super close, but whatever, it's the same state. So you would think they would do localization. No, let's talk to Nintendo of America's Trios division and take away resources that could be going to Zelda Wii U or some other story-based game like the new Metroid game. No, let's take that off and make them do Yokai Watch, and then they're gonna probably screw something up because it's gotta be in line with the TV show in the US. We can't have Mongi or Zura or anything like that. Oh, we're gonna change the characters and make them sound stupider. I really hope they don't do that. I mean, the games shouldn't be that bad because the only thing that they really change in the games is the names. That's basically it. And there's a small amount of voice acting, but it's very rare. Plus, I really want to see... We're almost at Yokai Watch 2, if you think about it. I mean, believe it or not, we're already at episode 24. Yeah, you know that Robonyan one that HG Hydra called, like, what? Or that person that he called, well, to be frank, the booty penetrator or something like that. HG Hydra said that. I'm like, that's like, I couldn't think of a name that's like the perfect name for that guy that does that, the Robonyan. That episode's a thing. Like, it's already, I thought it was coming till March. It's the middle of January. And it's already up. On, like, Pika TV or whatever. Well, not Pika TV, but I found it somewhere. And, surprisingly, they keep most of it intact. But they changed two things, when he's, I don't know. If you've seen it, you know what I mean. They changed the part at the very end, so instead of, well... Yeah, basically shaking his butt at him. He doesn't do that, he just shakes his whole body instead, which I'm thinking, of all the stuff they could possibly change, that could have been changed, but I wasn't expecting them to, because last time I checked, when you localize, you aren't allowed to make new stuff, all you can do is cut stuff in and whatever. But if they can make whole new animations, and if they can make Om or TV Tokyo do it, then whatever. And they changed another part that I'm not going to describe for obvious reasons, but... They kept in the music, surprisingly. Obviously, I think the music's the same. I think it's like slightly distorted, but I'm not really sure. I think maybe it's just a video. But they kept most of it in. They even had the flowers and everything. Of course, they changed what he said to make it sound non-sexual. Because, no, we can't have that in the US because the children, because they're totally the people that are buying this game and not like... Because, you know, apparently we haven't gotten to the point where people... have accepted the fact that kids play like Call of Duty and stuff and they don't give a damn about games like Yokai Watch. The sooner that happens, the sooner this censorship and changes can go away. Obviously name changes and voice acting, that's going to be permanent, but come on, they don't have to censor everything. Whatever. Anime aside, the game. What could they change about the game? Now, I have not completed the game yet, but from what I've played so far... the only thing that I really just want already is just English text. I don't have to badger people on Twitter like, hey, what does this sign say? What does this text say? Where does this arrow go? I don't know where to go. I don't have to ask them a bunch of things, which I'm sure would be nice, although they are really nice and they will help me, which is, I am definitely grateful for that. I would not be able to complete the game without those people on Twitter. You know who you are if you're watching this video, but... I just want text. I mean, name change. I mean, voice acting. The only voice acting I've seen in the entire game is when you find Koma-san in just random spots, and then he just says "Mongi" or whatever. I can't say that. I think I remember hearing someone say "Mongay," and I'm like, wait, what Mongay? Why would you pronounce it like that? It's Mongi, not Mongay. I'm surprised the LGBT community hasn't destroyed level 5 for that. Okay, I need to stop with that. Let's go back to the subject. Let's get enough of the C-SPAN, Fox News type material. Let's go back to actual stuff. But anyway, what the? Oh, okay. I just got a tweet. Yeah, just by the way, apparently on Minecraft Wii U, if you go to the manual and go to the very back where it says customer support, there is a link to the Xbox support page, and it says, by the way, customer service does not give you gameplay tips. Why even point that out? People aren't that stupid. I mean, come on, they aren't that stupid. I mean, I understand that Microsoft's owned by Xbox and Minecraft is owned by Microsoft and Xbox, I get that, but they seriously have to put their own support page in there for help with the Wii U? I mean, it would basically be the same thing. I mean, the Wii U version is basically the same as the other versions of Minecraft on console. It's the same menu, same interface, all that stuff. But why specifically put that there? I'm surprised there's not a big fat Xbox logo. Like, buy an Xbox One right now because Xbox One's... Okay, let's go back to Yokai Watch. The one thing I'm really worried about is how they could possibly... There's one voice that I know they're going to find some way to dumb it down as much as it doesn't need to. Of all of the quote-unquote mature voices in the series, Fuyunyan, which is like the blue blue yokai cat, well, yokai, that like floats with the red cape or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. While I have a very bad feeling they're going to find a way to dumb that down, I really, really, really do not like that feeling. They're going to make his voice sound stupid. Somehow they're going to find a way to do it. I don't know how. I'm pretty sure they can't. He's the only character that I could think of in this series that's actually a yokai that has a serious voice. Could they change it? I'm hoping they don't, but as we all know, after they basically, at least for me, and I've discussed this in numerous radio segments before I changed them to the Nin-Cast, I've discussed to death about how I think that they screwed up the English dub, at least for a few characters. And those few characters just happen to be my favorite characters, like Shibarian and Koma-san. If their voices were different, and then I would be happy. If they didn't dumb stuff down, at least in my opinion, you can like the English dub. I've said this numerous times in videos, but if you're like a new subscriber, if you like it, that's fine. I'm not going to kill you or anything. You have the right to have your opinion. But, you know... Although, how could they screw anything else up? They can't really screw anything else up, which is actually one benefit, because now that the big offlift of the first game is done, basically everything's going to stay the same. The only thing they could possibly change is the name of Fuyunyan. Which will they change it? I don't think they will, because all the other Nyans have the same name. I think all of them do, with the exception of Bushinyan, called Shogunyan, and I think Bushinyan is a way better name than Shogunyan. But Shogunyan technically does count because, you know, he's a samurai or whatever, and, you know, shoguns are like the leaders of Japan back in the Senkoku Jigettai or whatever. I've been watching so much extra history on Extra Credits channel that I know all that stuff off the top of my head, actually. Yay for Japanese history via Extra Credits or whatever. But yeah, what else could they do? Well, actually, they're probably good, because there's like no voice acting except for a few extreme minor moments when you can meet Koma-san. That's really about it. So that's actually a good thing, so I don't have to worry about them screwing anything up except for one character. Even if they do, it probably won't be that bad. So yeah, aside from one character, they can't really screw anything up. At least I can't think of any. I'm probably going to remember someone right after I upload the video. I'm going to be like, oh wait, I forgot to mention this character. But as far as Yokai Watch 2 is concerned, which is the one that would be localized, or at least announced to be localized this year, I can't think of any. So let's move over to Yokai Watch 3. This is way more confusing, and everyone on Twitter basically agrees with me. And I'm sure definitely people that watch my channel that are Yokai Watch fans will agree with me on this, especially a few I probably talked to on Twitter. The main thing about Yokai Watch 3, it's not that they can change stuff. That's not even my concern. My question is, how are they even going to get the game to work? Because they screwed everything up from the beginning by having, since we're talking about the English version, let's call him his English name, Nate. Keta is, I don't know, whatever. Keta, Nate, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to even bother. I'm just going to say Keta. They made Keta move from Japan to the US early. That's going to screw something up when they want to bring Yokai Watch 3 to the States, if that ever happens. Because by the time Yokai Watch 3 is even on the table, the NX is going to be out, and that's supposed to be a hybrid console, or supposedly, we don't know. So if that happens, will Level 5 Nintendo even see if it's even worth doing at that point? At that point, we'll probably resort to fan translations. But let me be honest with you, I'd rather have a fan translation than an official English one, because with the official English ones, they censor and change stuff. But with the if they do like a fan translation, it's the Japanese version just with English text, and that's all I really want. I want the Japanese voice acting, I want the Japanese signs and all that stuff. All I want is the dialogue boxes and menus to be English. That is it. But since obviously that can't happen in the U.S. because of stuff I've already said and how it's got to be English, I get this where people are gonna be like, well, if you localize something, then of course that means localizing it, changing it for a different region. When I don't want localization, I want translation. I should be saying that. I just want the games to be English, but I don't want them to change anything in the game itself, which unfortunately they always do. But back to the problem with Yokai Watch 3. So far, and I believe they're going to show off some stuff in the Koro comic in Japan that's new about Yokai Watch 3, so stay tuned for that if there's anything that is, well, super important. But basically, for what I know is, Yokai Watch 3, there's going to be two different sides. I'm probably going to say this wrong because I don't have a grasp on the name yet, but Inaho, the new, like, female protagonist or whatever, not Fumi, like the new one, is going to be in Japan along with USA Pion, the new yokai that's a US yokai but lives in Japan. That whole story with the rocket or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. And then Kera in the Japanese version will move up to the US. So technically at that point, no matter what region you live in, he's in the US. But what I'm worried is, number one, they don't live in the same area. For what we know, even though I've heard people say, oh, it's like in this place or that place or whatever. And basically I've determined it as Springdale, Idaho. Case closed. Because Idaho's always mentioned and Springdale's the town in the US version. Boom, that's where he lives. In Yokai Watch 3, he's going to move to St. Petersburg, which... isn't that like in Pennsylvania or something? I don't know where it is. It's somewhere on the East Coast, like New York and stuff. I think it's on the East Coast. Whereas in the U.S., he lives like in the Pacific to middle-ish part of the country. So you see the problem there? It's not the same area. So then I thought of a way they could do this. Make it so Keda moves from Idaho to the East Coast, so it's like in the Japanese version, he goes from Japan to the U.S. in that particular town or whatever. And then in the U.S. version, he moves from his current U.S. town to the new U.S. town. Boom, problem solved. But then here's the other thing. Japan is half the game. So are they going to say that other part, the Inaho and USA Piona, are they going to say that they're in a different U.S. town and confuse it even more? No, they have to keep it in Japan, which means... technically, it's a good thing for them because it means half the game is Japanese, which means they have to localize less. But that also means they're probably still going to change signs around, just say it's Japan, even though if there's no Japanese, it's not Japan. Last time I checked, in order for it to be Japan, there's Japanese everywhere you go. If they don't do that, then it's not Japan. Like, how are they going to do this? I really don't know. Yokai Watch 2 is simple. All they really have to do is just change the text. It's nothing really controversial in it as far as I know. But Yokai Watch 3, the fact that they couldn't have kept him in Japan for the US version, because he's got to be in the US, and I bet for every other region he's going to be in like the UK or something. Like, if you live in the UK, he lives in the UK or whatever. No, I think he's in the US for all international regions that aren't Japan and Korea. I completely forgot about Korea. But... man, this is really confusing. I wonder how they're going to do all this. They better find a way. But obviously they're going to find a way, under the circumstance it gets localized at all. Because by the time Yokai Watch 3 is on the table, they might just decide to port it either to the NX, because NX theoretically would become the new handheld and replace the 3DS under the assumption it's a hybrid console. So, or maybe even better hope is, if they don't translate it at all, that means that the community will be forced to make a fan translation. Now, is the Yokai Watch community big enough to make a fan translation? It's not the scale of Mother 3 or anything like that. At least I doubt it is. Even though it's still pretty big in Japan and gaining stuff in Korea, Hong Kong, and other Asian countries. In the US, and it hasn't even launched in Europe, as far as I know. I don't think even the toys and stuff are available in Europe yet. Nothing's in Europe to my knowledge. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the games... and the games only. Yeah, how are they going to do all that? I really want to know. I'm curious what Level 5 Nintendo's way of getting around this issue is going to be. My unfortunate logic is they might think it's so hard maybe they can't figure out, and they're just gonna say screw it and not localize it because they can't figure out how to get the U.S. Japan thing to work correctly in the U.S. version when you move to a different state in the U.S. version, but he's still in Japan, the Japanese version. They're gonna move him all over the country. Okay, that I'm probably gonna lose some brain cells if I try and think too hard about this, but. If it doesn't get localized, I'm blaming it on the fact that they can't think of a reason because they screwed up by having him move to the U.S. They should have just kept him in Japan and then just change all the signs. At least say he's technically in Japan. How about do this? Say he lives in Japan. It doesn't matter if he's in Sakura Newtown or not. Just say he's in Japan, but in a town that's entirely English, with English currency. That sounds stupid, but it's better, but if he was in Japan at all, that would work. But the fact that he's in the U.S. now, and he's going to move to the U.S. and the Japan, it's so confusing. I think it's like 40 minutes. I guess it's really living up to the mega discussion. Final thoughts for Yokai Watch 2 is, aside from Fuyunyan, it should be fine. Also, the fact that we don't know what version they're going to localize. Is it going to be Honkei, Ganso, or Sinuchi, all three? What are they going to be physical? Are certain versions going to be digital, or some only physical, or some going to be certain prices? We don't know, but I'm going to buy all three of them because I freaking love Yokai Watch, and I will buy anything that has Yokai Watch written on it. Unless it's English, of course, with the exception of the games. Like, if I'm thinking about getting an actual Yokai Watch, but if I get one, I'm not going to get the US one with the stupid US. Aside from the summoning charming one, I hate all of the other ones. They sound so stupid and dumbed down. If I buy a Yokai Watch itself, like to put the medals in, I'll just buy a Japanese one. Like the newest one, the Yokai Wachi Prototype U, Type 1 or Type 2 or whatever the color thing works. So yeah, in Yokai Watch 3, that's just a whole mess that Level 5 and Nintendo are going to have to figure out, at the same time making it comprehensively correct, which I don't think they could do, unless, well, they basically screwed themselves, so they're going to have to figure out how to get out of this situation. Although, if they found a way to get Yokai Watch over to the US at all, and keep most of it intact, aside from a few really annoying voice changes that almost cripple the US version for me, then they'll probably find a way. Level 5 has done a lot of stuff with Nintendo over the past decade plus of their games, so they're probably going to find a way to do it. But, yeah. I guess that's really all. I think this has been about over 40 minutes. It's actually a pretty good time to actually have somewhat more editing in. Yeah, so this video is probably going to take forever to upload, but I hope you've enjoyed listening to me discuss / rant on all this stuff. Mainly the Yokai Watch stuff I've ranted on. Not really that much, but, you know. Once again, I don't hate the US version. I don't hate the version itself. I don't even hate the names for the most part. My problem is the dialogue. They chopped the dialogue down, and I don't understand why the dialogue sounds. Some of it sounds just like the Japanese version, or sometimes even better. But like Koma-san, I've probably ranted about this in all his other videos, but I just can't stand his "Y'all tarnation, look at that butterfly and a biscuit" or stuff like that. You know, redneck. He's like got the redneck cowboy accent or whatever. Oh well. Anyways, leave your thoughts in the comments section about all this, and I will see you guys next time.